Hello, math students. This is Mr. Poggio. If you're seeing this video, that means you're a new student. So I just want to break you down on some of the tips on navigating eCadence and just some help in general with being successful in Mr. Poggio's math class and in general some of your classes in CVA. So first things first, make sure that you get to your homepage for math class. This tab right here that says modules is going to be like your go-to tab. This tab has week by week, which represents each module right here, that has everything that you're going to need in all of your classes. If you click on each tab, you'll see in math, I have it organized in terms of instruction with 5.1 with the instruction with links. Everything you need is actually in 5.1 when it comes to instructions, and they're broken down by point for 5.2 all the way down to 5.7 or the number of assignments for each module. 5.2 is always going to be the Google Slides that we use in class that are really important for instruction. This is where I go over tips about, for example, system of equations or graphing or transformation with geometry. This is really where you're going to want to kind of look at it for like study purposes. One of the ones I highlight is our Edpuzzle. And look at the description below. There's an Edpuzzle link that is the invite code to our class. You're going to want to click on that. It will invite you to our class. And Edpuzzle is essentially just like YouTube videos with questions, kind of like a pop quiz watching YouTube. Really important for math because this gives us a visual understanding of whether it's solving equations, systems of equations. I will make sure these videos show step by step how to support your understanding and instruction. You'll see we'll have assignments that are in our online textbook, and I'll get to that in a second right here. But Are You Ready is kind of like our intro assignment in HMH. It's kind of like a little quiz that says, are you ready for this next unit? We'll also be doing lessons by hand. I think that's very important to balance our by hand math. So we're actually physically writing in addition to working math digitally in our online program. So you'll see all of our lessons from lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. are actually done by hand. These are not graded for accuracy, but completion. Think of this as like practicing to understand the concept. And this is where we spend a lot of time in office hours that we have once a week that I actually call office hours math live, where I will have my screen looking at a piece of paper doing math live, specifically on the questions from our textbook, our lessons 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. In this module 5, for example, we're looking at constructing scatter plots and examining association, where there's positive or negative correlation with data points. Gizmos, I love using Gizmos in math. I'm going to show you an efficient way to use Gizmos in a moment. But Gizmos are interactive lessons that pair with the Google assignment. So I'm going to show you how to split screen so you can have the simulation and the interactive lesson on one side and then the Google assignment on the other. So I'll show you that too. And Waggle, lastly, is part of our HMH online textbook. It's actually a program within HMH that is adaptive. It works to your level, so it knows your level of math from our semester assessments and will actually tailor and adapt the questions to your learning needs. So that's what's really cool about Waggle. It's mission oriented. It's kind of like a game. I'll show you to access that too, but it is literally made to your level. So again, I want to highlight, it's always good to read through instructions for the week. The first page, I'll always give you the learning goals and our overview, kind of like what we're doing. I really highly suggest that you take advantage of the suggested timeline. I really try to break it down like by day for you so that you're not doing all things the night, all your assignments the night before. It's going to be really difficult because it's when you fall behind in math, math is sequential. So going back and doing random units makes it difficult. I really, really want to highlight the idea of doing the suggested timeline. Like on Wednesday, you should be taking a look at Khan Academy and Kate's lessons with our Edpuzzles. Are You Ready on Thursdays? On Friday, lesson 1. On Monday, we have office hours at 12:45. The link is right here. It's also actually right above too, so it's a static link, never changes. It's also in your Google Calendar. And Tuesday, I suggest doing Waggle, and this was for the new semester growth assessment for Module 5. I'll have a cute little Bitmoji classroom, which is pretty much everything you just saw that talks about each lesson. And page number 2 is important because it goes in detail with your instruction, your learning goals, and the overview. if I had to say, like, where am I going to get the most bang for my buck in learning math when it comes to content, it's these Edpuzzles. I always put some extra instructional videos too, from Khan Academy. Kate's math lessons did not have one on Scatterplots, but I usually have a Kate's math lesson for two different perspectives for types of instruction. Khan Academy also has interactive lessons. So I have these right here as like extra links for you to have the ability to say, hey, you know what? I kind of didn't understand this concept. Where can I learn more about it? And it's all right there. I'll go into detail again with each assignment right here. You'll see I color code from if you're doing it by hand in the book or orange with HMH Online. I'll show you how to access that in a second. And I'll go through all these specific ones in a moment. And page 3 is just another way to look at our detailed daily tasks. Again, I just reiterate what days is best to work on assignments, and of course, what is graded. And I enjoy my gifts, so I have some gifts related to math at the bottom. So let's take a look at Are You Ready? And anything in HMH you want to click right here where it says textbook, it's going to shoot you on over into our HMH textbook. And this textbook right here is literally our book for math. It follows this textbook right here. It's not like a different book. It literally matches our textbook. So if it helps, you could actually have your textbook out while you are working on these assignments. So you're going to go to, I got to find our class really quick, but once you are logged in, you're going to see this assignment overview. It'll also give you another, due date by assignment. But there's scatter plots. Are you ready? You literally click on it and you get going. It lets me know who started it, your answers. So just so you know, Mr. Poggio is right here watching your work along the way. They have due dates. I keep them open so you could still access the assignments. And I always give 2 options for tests. So you'll notice in our assessments, you'll have an assessment 1 week, and I always give a second chance at the assessment the following week. And you get the score of the better of the 2. So the whole idea is reflection and growth. All right, and lesson number 1, you're literally going to go in your book, find the pages, in this case 279 to 286. You're going to do them by hand. And when you submit them in eCadence, you're actually going to take a picture of the book. Again, this is not for accuracy. This is for practice. But I want to make sure that you're submitting evidence. So you'll take a picture of your book. And then, and this is where you got to get a little techie, you're going to want to put all those pictures onto a Google assignment or some other format and share that link with me on 5.5 or any lesson. So again, you do have to have the ability to take a picture and some tech skills, but really it's just about practice. You're not graded for accuracy. Interactive Gizmos. So your Gizmo, you're going to be going to your actual Gizmo assignment. So right here, 5.6, you click on 5.6 and you'll have something that says start assignment. This is the teacher version. So I'll go ahead and I always give a copy for you in my instructions for the week, 5.1. But when you open up the assignment, make sure you open it in its own window. It'll look like this. All you have to do is click on the title of the Gizmo and you will go straight to the simulation. However, if you only click the title, you will not be authenticated in the program. So you'll see when I start, it will only give me 5 minutes and it'll actually put a timer. You don't want that. You want the entire time. So in order to authenticate, make sure you read the directions, but I put them all right here. First, you want to obviously open up the Google assignment like we just did. You're going to click on the Clever app. It's going to take you to our authentication website for AUHSD, and you're going to log in as a student. Of course, I'm going to log in as a teacher. And always log in with Google. This is your Google ID or your account that's connected to your AUHSD student account. So you don't want to have to type in your password again. And you're going to click on the Gizmo rostering app. I have it as a favorite. It'll probably be down here at the bottom for you. But if you click the little heart, it'll pop up as a favorite. And then once you click it, that means Gizmo knows that you're an AUHSD student and will give you unlimited time. If you have a science teacher that uses Gizmo, you'll see their classes. That is not the same for math. You will not see the classes up here. That's just specific to science. But you are authenticated, which means once Gizmo knows you're an AUHSD student, You could go ahead and click out of there. You have authenticated. But now when you click on the title, you'll have unlimited time. So you'll see I won't have the timer. It'll actually show your name in the top right there. And now my suggestion for Gizmos is to split screen. Every computer is a little different, but if you split screen this way, and usually you want to drop down and zoom out to like 80, 90, maybe 70%. But now I can actually work on the simulation right here. I can find my y equals mx plus b and actually make a line that shows the positive trend here on these data points. But you're going to read through the instructions and answer each question while it pairs with the simulation. So I highly suggest doing the split screen this way so you're not toggling back and forth. All right, and to wrap up, the last one and the last type of assignments you'll see are our Waggle. So to get to Waggle, you're actually going to go to our textbook. Waggle is part of HMH. So you're going to click right here where it says textbook again, just like we did before. And you'll see you'll have like missions. I think for the teachers, we go to Discover. I'm not quite sure if it's the same way for the student version. But once you get to Waggle, it'll look like this. You're going to have it's like a little avatar. He looks kind of like this. And you go ahead and you get started, and it'll have missions. And again, they are adapted and specific to your learning level. I could go check my class activity so I could see how long you've been on Waggle, what missions you've completed. And you are never graded for Waggle on accuracy, just like your textbook. You're only graded for the time that you spent on there. So we will spend 1 hour a week on Waggle to have some customized learning. And pretty sure that is about it when it comes to math instruction. So again, you really want to take advantage of this modules tab right here. Every module will look very, very similar, where point 1 is your instructions for the week, point 2 are going to be the Google Slides, and then point 3 are going to be your Edpuzzles with a lot of instructional tips, and then you'll see your assignments from point 4s to point 5, 6, point 7, etc. Again, some will be by hand, and some will be interactive in our textbook, and we'll also take advantage of Gizmos from time to time. If you want to come to class, you just hit the conference right there. You'll see our conference pop up right here. And I think that's about it for some tips and help from Mr. Poggio. If you have any other questions, please make sure to visit office hours. We have math office hours every Monday at 12:45. Again, you have the link right here on the very first page in 2 different spots. It's also in your Google Calendar. That's a great place to ask questions for any instructional support or just general questions about CVA. Hope that helps. This is Mr. Poggio's math class. See you later. Have a good one.